strange artifacts found on Mount Ararat of Turkey that are unknown. How were they found there? To the south of the Caucasus and the Black Sea, near the eastern border of Turkey, lies the small Republic of Armenia. By the 1930s, few had dared to explore its lands because of the uneven terrain, lack of roads, and the primitive instinct of the local bloodthirsty tribes. However, the English explorer Carveth Wells managed to penetrate this mysterious country, to study its ancient mountains and monasteries, and to climb to the top of Mount Ararat, where the famous monastery was located, which is considered the cradle of the world and the eternal home of all Armenians. Indeed, local traditions insist that this country has been the cradle of all mankind. They even show the location of earthly paradise, but also the lake in which the waters receded after the biblical flood. The Armenians claim to be the descendants of Japheth, the third son of Noah, who, according to the Bible, ran aground with his ark right on top of Mount Ararat. The small town of Egziazim was then built there, to which the title of the oldest city in the world belongs. On the highest crown of the mountain, the monastery of St. James was built, St. Yaakov of Akori Monastery, where, according to tradition, a piece of wood from the Ark of Noah was kept. Besides this tradition was also known to the Byzantines. Eusebius of Caesarea reported that on the Mount Ararat sat the Ark, the remains of which remained in Armenia. But it's not only the remnant of the Ark, the Noah's Ark, of course, one of the first relics of the Christian faith, that is said to exist in this country. On the plateau of Mount Ararat lies another city called Mizhet. There in biblical times it was a real natural paradise, but today it has been replaced by steep cliffs, swamps, and few plantations. In the middle of the city was the ancient church of the 12 Apostles, in which a robe was kept. The Armenian tradition insists that this robe was the original garment worn by our Lord Jesus Christ during his martyrdom ascent to Golgotha. The existence for his passion. The existence of this pentagonal robe was explained as follows. The Roman soldiers, as the gospel said, gambled on who would win the robe of Jesus. A Jew then bought it from the one who won it and brought it to this place, which was the Armenian city of Mizhet. When the sister of that person died, she covered her body with his robe. After many years, they opened the tomb of Sidon, as the woman was called, and discovered the robe intact. Since then, according to Armenian tradition, the sacred cloth was kept in the Christian church, which was built for that very purpose. But there's another precious relic of Christianity. Bishop Mesrop of the city of Egziazim kept with great reverence in the ancient city Christian crypt the spear with which Christ was ascended on the cross of martyrdom. These relics, the sacred relics for which papal Rome once did everything to obtain and transfer them back to Italy, have been protected for centuries by self-denial from the Armenians, who were determined to sacrifice themselves in order to keep these relics, these holy relics, in their country. Inside the Erivan monastery, the Englishman Carveth Wells discovered a magnificent large painting which belonged to the famous Flemish Renaissance painter Rubens. How this magnificent painting was found on the isolated plateau of the Caucasus remains a true mystery. But the daring explorer discovered something even more shocking. In a secluded corner of Armenia, there were 3 villages, the inhabitants of which were completely different from the rest of their compatriots in both racial type and language and dress. In appearance, they resembled Europeans, but their armor was the same as that of the medieval Crusaders, and they spoke the language idiom that remarkably resembles English. There was no doubt that these people were descendants of the Crusaders of the time of the King of England, Richard the Lionheart. The mystery of the relics of Christianity on Mount Ararat remains. So how did these Europeans get to the Caucasus about 1,000 years ago? Millennia ago, 2,000 years ago? Why did they settle in those fraudulent places? How did they manage to survive to this day? So that's the big historic problem in question, which has preoccupied and continues to plague researchers. This was published in a Greek newspaper called Nation Ethnos, January 12th, 1933. And I've translated for you, and I hope you found it interesting. I never knew these ancient blessed relics were there. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support. Support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box.